What's up, FloCombaters? We're here with Tywan Claxton, making a lot of noise on Twitter and in the amateur MMA scene, man. This dude's tearing things up right now. So it's a pleasure to talk with you. Tywan, how you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. I love to talk to the people. I love to do interviews. I love to run my mouth, as you can tell on social media. So, I'm glad you guys had me on. We're gonna have a little fun today.
Of course, man. And like he alluded to it just now with the social media, but if you do not follow this guy already, you guys have to do that. So we'll cut straight to the chase here. You've made quite the name for yourself here in about the past couple weeks, going after a certain somebody in Bellator. Can you just brief for people who aren't caught up to speed on this? Go ahead and throw down the gauntlet for us.
You know, I called out, a hype train. I called out somebody that, Bellator's kind of pushed and pushed and pushed. And I know that I can beat in less than 24 seconds. So, I called out Aaron Pico and told him, hey, let's get in the middle of the ring, bite down on that mouthpiece and throw. I haven't gotten a response yet, but, it is what it is. It's making noise. I'm gaining fans. I'm gaining followers. Different organizations are hitting me up trying to get me fights. So, it's doing everything that it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and what is your career status right now? Because, we look you up on Tapology. We've seen your background. We know you train with the Blackzilians and stellar, spotless 7-0 amateur record right now. Are you officially turned pro? Or are you still in the amateur ranks? What's the status there?
I was supposed to fight for Legacy a couple different times. I've had close to 9 opponents back out. I won't take another amateur fight. I don't need another amateur fight. I can wrestle, and these hands are good, and they're ready to eat for everyone. So anybody can get the work. So I'm not really worried about it. I'm going pro, and now I'm in the works of, there's some big news coming. There's some big news coming. I can't say much, but just know there's some big news coming with an organization that's well known.
I like it. And speaking of people being ready to eat, one of my favorite things I just learned about you, show the good people out there what you're chowing on right now. I love this diet.
Hey, I got some potato chips because, those are good. You got to have the sweet tea, the Jimmy John's, and I got a little turkey sub right here. It's turkey and salami and provolone, so it's not too healthy, but that's how I roll. I'm a fruit snack king. I love fruit snacks. I love popsicles. I eat what I want to eat, and because at the end of the day, you train, you go out there and you fight. It's a fight at the end of the day. You don't have to be in the best shape to win. It only takes one punch. I believe in this right hand right here, so I mean. I'm gonna enjoy life, eat what I want to eat, say what I want to say, drink what I want to drink.
I love the mentality, man, and it shows. Calling out Pico, even though he did get starched, he's a highly, highly touted prospect still. Even with the loss, a lot of people are still high on him. But give us the rundown of your own credentials, because you're no slouch in the wrestling and boxing background yourself. You got a little of each, so just give us the rundown on what you've done, what you've accomplished.
So I'm a Division II All-American. I was a Division II All-American as a freshman. I was a 2-time state placer in Ohio. I was a round of 12. I was in the round of 12 Division I. I was a 2-time Division I national qualifier for Ohio University. I haven't. My accolades aren't as high as his. I wasn't on any junior world teams or anything like that. But, I done dropped off some big names. I done put the hammer down on some big names, in my day. And I'm a game opponent, no matter what the sport is, I love to compete. So I'm game, whether it's no matter who it is, like I said, I'm game to roll, to do anything, man.
Yeah, and obviously you've seen the Pico fight. There's not a whole lot to take away from that kind of performance, but what makes you so confident in yourself that you match up well with him? Why do you feel like this is the fight for you?
I mean, one, I got beaters. So and he has no chin. So if I touch him one time, it's over. It's not a matter of if I touch him, it's when I touch him, If I want, that's a fight that I can go out there and try new moves. That's like a little brother fight. I can put my hand out on his head, and let him swing a couple times and touch him on the chin. For me, it's not so much as, Pico, to go after Pico. It's so much as let's go after the hype trains. Because I didn't put in my work. I didn't spar with guys like Michael Johnson, guys like Jason Jackson, Gilbert Burns, Desmond Green, Yuri Villafort, Jay-Z. I can go on and on. For the last 2 years, I've been banging with these guys, and I have zero fear. The guy that beat Pico, hell, if you want to throw me on the main card, I will starch his ass in less than 24 seconds. I'll starch the guy that beat Pico. I'll make my pro debut against a guy that's 10-2, 10-3, whatever the guy's record is. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I sense a little, like we said, 7-0 as an amateur, but I get the sense that you've been in some unsanctioned scraps, man. Am I picking up on some vibes here? Am I right in that assumption?
You know what? I will say that I am a savage. You can ask God. I had a couple brawls back in my day. Back in my college days, Court Street. You gotta ask my teammates, my old teammates. Cody Walters, Sparty Chino, Harry Hightower. all those guys know that. I got a big mouth, and sometimes when you got a big mouth, you gotta back it up. Sometimes people, when I'm not a huge guy, so the way I talk, people gotta see if, hey, let me see if this dude is actually about, what he says he's about. So, right. Yeah, like I said, I'm a savage. I say what's on my mind, and I don't really care, what the consequences are. Right. If there are consequences, because 9.5 times out of 10 there are no consequences.
True, but that one half time when you got to buckle down, put the mouth guard in out of nowhere, and start throwing, man, you're ready for that.
Man, easily, any day of the week.
Hell yeah. Hey man, speaking of savagery, let's talk about this care package that you sent Aaron Pico. I heard you mailed him a little treat. Did you ever hear back on that?
I didn't hear back on it, and his gym is now the proud owner of 24 heavy-duty tampons, so if they got any leaks, any holes in the ceilings, I just provided them a service. That's what I did. I saved them some money, so if Pico doesn't use it for, his, then okay, the gym can use it for, plug up some holes in the wall, they can use it for whatever they want to use it for, but, I decided to send them a little care package, just like college. You know how mom used to send you the care package?
Exactly.
I sent one to the up and coming fighters. Said, man, here's a care package, bro.
See, that's just thoughtful. That's just good looking out right there on that part. And listen,
I really am a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. That's why I'm like, let me send him a care package. Times are hard.
Of course, I love it, man. And I want to touch on something you said. You can't say too much, so I'm not going to get you in trouble with your management and everything, but it sounds like you got a pro fight lined up. Obviously, Pico's already been announced for Bellator 183. Is there a chance? You don't have to say that it happened, but should we get excited for Claxton versus Pico? Is that even possible?
It's possible. It's possible. I guess I'm going to say it's possible. The thing is, when you have an invested interest, Pico is an invested interest to Bellator. They put all this money behind them, and what do they want to take the chance of putting him in the cage with somebody like me and him getting starched again? That's up for debate, but at the same time, you got somebody like me who's got a big mouth and he can fight. So, it's a checks and balance. It's all about how they want to go about it. If I was to sign with Bellator, I'm not saying that I have a Bellator contract. I'm not saying that I don't have a Bellator contract. I'm saying that they kind of have to pick and choose who's worth investing in the most. And one simple YouTube search, you'll see that these hands are real.
Yeah.
So.
What's up with your boxing background? Because I've heard a bit about this as well. How long have you been training boxing? In addition, obviously your wrestling credentials speak for themselves, but how long have you been throwing hands?
I've been dabbling in mixed martial arts period from since probably like my freshman year of college. But it was never anything too serious, any serious training here and there. While I was in college, I'd go down to a boxing gym, let out some anger, get some aggression out, learn a few things here or there. It wasn't until I actually left school. I've been down here for about 2 years or a year and a half. That's when I really started training. So he's got more technical boxing experience than me, but these hands are street certified. So I mean, let's take your technique versus my savagery and see who wins. And I mean, it's worked out in my favor so far.
I like it. And training with the guys you do, man, like you said, gives you a ton of confidence. What is it like being in that environment day in, day out, and still not even having made your pro debut? I feel like this is a huge advantage that you have going into your pro debut.
The thing about it is when you train with the best, you train with the best guys, and you've been through that ringer, then it's like the guys that you see on TV, you're like, I mop the floor with him. You have no problem saying that because you didn't slip 4 or 5 punches from the best striker and countered him. You didn't knock a couple guys out in training. It's like you're ready for war no matter what. My amateur fights, I barely got touched. I did exactly what I wanted to do to people. My training camps were harder than my fights. And, so my confidence level is, you can't compare it to anybody else's confidence level. I've always had the same thing since wrestling. Was I necessarily the best wrestler? No, but I was the most confident wrestler there ever was. You know what I mean? Am I necessarily the best fighter? I mean, I'm technically undefeated in every fight I've ever been in. So probably, they might need to replace Mayweather with me. I go fight Floyd. We have better press conferences.
Oh man, I love it. And speaking of your amateur background, man, I got to keep this rolling. Is this something I wanted to check in on? You look at the record. You start off with a knockout. You string together some decisions, and you get back to the finishes, the knockouts. What happened during that string of decisions? What changed and what caused you to start finishing those fights again? Because I know there's obviously a lot that goes into each fight, but there was that stretch where it looked like you were having trouble finding the finish. So what was going on there?
What was going on there throughout that stretch of the decisions was pretty much like I was evolving as a fighter. So I was adding different tools. I'm adding some low kicks. I'm adding some taekwondo kicks. I'm doing some catch wrestling with my coach Neil Melanson. I'm doing some jiu-jitsu with my coach George Santiago. So I'm trying to incorporate different things that I learned. It was pretty much like, let's go out there and test this, see if you like this. And I got away from just being a savage. I got away from like, let's go out there and brawl. And I wanted to try little things a little bit more technical, but then everything started to string together. Then I became technical, and then I also bit down on my mouthpiece. So that's when the TKOs and the finishes started to come. When I started to say, all right, you worked on your technique. You kind of have a game plan of, you have a sense of who you are as a fighter, technically. And you already know who you are in your heart as a person. You're a savage. So let's put the two together, and that's when the knockouts and the TKOs started to pop back up on the record.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. And at FloCombat, we actually spend a lot of time looking at regional rankings. We do a Prospect of the Month series we just launched. We do prospect rankings as well, guys outside the top organizations. So we're crazy excited, man, to see you get into this pro ranks and see where you can go. You're high up on our radar of people to watch, and we just want everybody else to be on the same train, man. So I just want to let you know we're excited to watch where you go, man, and keep us informed where you go from here. Let's keep in touch, man. I like what we have going on here, and I'm excited to see some of the savagery unfold.
Hey, all I want is that the free money. That fight with Pico, we can get it going. I'll call up the boys. I'll say, yo, let's have a Triple B night. It's on me. We have a Triple B night, and it be on me, and it be some quick money. So maybe Bellator make it happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'll be signing with Bellator. Maybe I won't. Who knows? what the future holds. But I got a couple more videos that I'm probably gonna release. You pick the target and I'll go after them, and that's how it's gonna roll. But like you said, if you don't follow me on social media, you probably need to.
Yeah.
At TClax149.
There it is, at TClax149. That's Tywan Speedy Claxton. Maybe the next big thing, man. You got the credentials, you got the mindset, you got the training camp. Can't wait to see where you go, man. Take care, train hard, and we'll see you at that pro fight.
Absolutely, bro.
All right, man. Take care.
Thanks for having me.